In the dusty haze of a Montana sunset, where the sky bled orange over endless plains, Amelia Harper stepped off the creaking stagecoach, her hands trembling around a worn carpet bag that held her entire life. At 22, she was a virgin mail-order bride, fleeing the suffocating grip of poverty in Boston, where orphanages spat out girls like her into a world that offered nothing but drudgery or despair. The advertisement in the matrimonial news had promised a sturdy rancher named Elias Thorne, a man seeking a wife to share his burdens on a sprawling cattle spread. But as the coach rattled away, leaving her alone on the dirt road leading to Thorne Ranch, terror clawed at her chest. What if he was cruel? What if he demanded more than she could give? She had never known a man's touch, never felt the warmth of family beyond fleeting memories of her mother's faded lullabies. The wind whispered doubts through the sagebrush, and Amelia wondered if she had traded one cage for another. Elias Thorne arrived on horseback, his silhouette cutting through the twilight like a figure from a frontier legend. It was tall, broad-shouldered, with sun-weathered skin and as the color of storm clouds, kind eyes, she noted with a flicker of surprise, though shadowed by some unspoken sorrow. He dismounted with a quiet grace, tipping his hat. "Miss Harper? I'm Elias. Welcome to Thorne Ranch." His voice was gravelly, laced with the exhaustion of a man who wrestled the land daily. No demands, no leers, just a simple handshake that felt like an anchor in her storm. As he loaded her bag onto the horse, he spoke of the ranch, the herds that roamed the valleys, the endless chores that build a life from nothing. Amelia nodded, her words caught in her throat, but she stole glances at him. It wasn't the brute she had feared, there was a gentleness in how he handled the reins, a patience that hinted at deeper waters. The ranch house emerged from the dusk, a sturdy log cabin with smoke curling from the chimney like a promise of warmth. But as they approached, a small figure burst from the door, a girl no older than 6, with wild auburn curls and freckles dusting her nose like stars. She wore a faded calico dress, patched at the knees, and her bare feet kicked up dust as she ran toward them. "Papa. Is this her? The new lady?" The child's voice was bright, unfiltered joy cutting through Amelia's anxiety like sunlight through clouds. Elias scooped her up, his face softening in a way that made Amelia's heart ache. "This is Lily, my daughter," he said, his tone laced with pride and a hint of apology. "Her mama passed 2 years back. Childbirth fever." The words hung heavy, explaining the shadows in his eyes, the quiet desperation that had led him to seek a bride through ink and paper. That first night, Amelia lay awake in the spare room, the quilt heavy with the scent of lavender and loss. The house creaked with memories she wasn't part of, and her fears multiplied in the darkness. She had answered Elias's ad out of necessity, her factory job in Boston paid pennies, and the streets were no place for a woman alone. But virginity wasn't just a state, it was her shield, her innocence preserved against a world that had taken everything else. What if Elias expected a wife in every sense, thrusting her into intimacies she wasn't ready for? The thought twisted her stomach. Yet, as dawn broke, Lily's laughter filtered through the walls, pulling her from the bed. The girl was a whirlwind, chattering about chickens and wildflowers while Elias cooked breakfast, simple flapjacks and coffee that tasted like home, even if it wasn't hers yet. Days blurred into a rhythm of ranch life, unexpected in its demands and rewards. Amelia learned to mend fences under Elias's patient guidance, her soft city hands blistering but growing stronger. He never pushed, never demanded more than companionship at the table or help with the chores. His stories of the land, of droughts that tested faith and bounties that renewed it, revealed a man shaped by hardship, yet unbroken. Lily, though, was the revelation. The child shadowed Amelia like a puppy, her wide eyes full of wonder. "Teach me to sew like Mama did," she'd ask, holding up a doll with a torn dress. Amelia, who had learned needlework in the orphanage, their heads bent together over fabric scraps. In those moments, terror ebbed, replaced by a tentative warmth. But doubts lingered. Amelia caught Elias watching them, his expression unreadable, and wondered if she was merely a placeholder for the wife he had lost. One afternoon, as thunderheads gathered over the mountains, an unexpected turn shattered the fragile peace. A neighbor rode in, frantic, rustlers had struck his herd, and Elias, ever the good Samaritan, saddled up to help track them. "Stay safe," Amelia whispered, her voice betraying more concern than she intended. He nodded, squeezing her hand briefly, a touch that sent sparks through her veins. Left alone with Lily, Amelia busied herself with supper, but the storm broke with fury, rain lashing the windows like accusations. Lily clung to her, wide-eyed. "Papa always comes back, right?" The girl's voice trembled, and Amelia pulled her close, murmuring assurances she barely believed. As night fell, worry gnawed deeper. What if Elias didn't return? The thought unearthed a profound realization. In these short weeks, she had begun to care, not out of obligation, but from a place deep within, where loneliness had long resided. The hours stretched, the storm raging outside as fiercely as Amelia's inner turmoil. Lily, unable to sleep, curled into her lap by the fire. "Tell me about your mama," Amelia said softly, seeking distraction. Lily's eyes lit up. "She was pretty, like you. She sang songs and baked pies. But then she got sick, and Papa cried a lot." The child's words pierced Amelia, painting a picture of love lost, of a family fracture. In that vulnerability, Amelia shared her own story, the orphanage's cold walls, the endless hunger for belonging. "I never had a mama or papa," she confessed, tears welling. Lily looked up, her small hand cupping Amelia's cheek. "You can have us. Papa needs someone to smile at him again." The innocence of it cracked something in Amelia. She realized her fears had blinded her to the humanity before her, the selflessness of a man raising a child alone, the kindness in offering a stranger a home. But the night brought another twist, a pounding at the door. Amelia's heart leaped as she opened it to Elias, drenched and bloodied from a skirmish with the rustlers. He staggered in, collapsing into a chair, his arm gashed deep. "Gott, he muttered, pain etching his face. Panic surged through Amelia. She had no medical training, only orphanage remedies. Lily whimpered, hiding her face. Drawing on reserves she didn't know she had, Amelia tore strips from her petticoat, boiling water to clean the wound. Her hands shook, but she worked methodically, stitching with thread from her sewing kit as Elias gritted his teeth. "You're brave," he whispered, his eyes locking on hers. In that moment, amid the blood and storm, a profound realization dawned. This wasn't just survival, it was connection, forged in shared trials. Elias's vulnerability stripped away her defenses, revealing a man who had loved deeply and lost, yet chose kindness over bitterness. As dawn broke, the storm cleared, leaving the world washed anew. Elias slept fitfully, bandaged and feverish, while Amelia tended the fire. Lily, exhausted but awake, tugged at her skirt. "Miss Amelia?" Her voice was small, hesitant. Amelia knelt, brushing curls from the girl's face. "What is it, sweeting?" Lily's eyes, so like her father's, brimmed with hope. "Can you be mama? For me and papa?" The question hung in the air, simple yet seismic. Amelia's breath caught, terror resurfaced, but now mingled with something deeper, love, unbidden and pure. Tears streamed down her cheeks as she pulled Lily into her arms. "Yes," she whispered, "the word of vow. If you'll have me." It was an act of compassion, selfless in its surrender, transforming fear into family. Elias stirred, witnessing the scene, his own eyes misting. "You've already been more than I hoped," he said hoarsely, reaching for her hand. In the weeks that followed, the ranch bloomed with new life. Amelia and Elias married under a canopy of cottonwoods, their union not rushed but rooted in mutual respect and growing affection. Her virginity became a shared journey, navigated with patience and tenderness, as Elias showed her the power of gentle love. Lily thrived, her laughter echoing across the plains, a testament to humanity's resilience. Unexpected turns had led here. From a terrified bride to a beloved wife and mother, proving that kindness could mend even the deepest wounds. Years later, as Amelia watched Lily chase butterflies with her own siblings, she reflected on that stormy night. Life on the frontier was hard, but it taught that selflessness wasn't sacrifice, it was the bridge to belonging. In a world often divided by hardship, the true power of humanity lay in opening one's heart, offering compassion without expectation. And in that act, hope flourished, inspiring all who dared to embrace it. For in the vast Montana skies, where stars whispered of possibilities, Amelia found not just a home, but a legacy of love that would echo through generations.